morning, everyone. If you are tuning in live on Facebook or checking us out on YouTube or wherever else you're connecting with us today, good morning. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Today we have a special guest. This is a much anticipated guest that I've been trying. She's a very busy woman, and I'm so appreciative for her to make up time on this Monday morning to be with me today and with our viewers and our followers. If you're tuning in today, it's Gina Chimesi, Psychic PRN on my channel or everywhere else you find me. I'm always babbling about mental health, and today we're going to talk about how our gut-brain connection helps our mood, all the bells and whistles that we need to hear from this woman. She has all kinds of great nuggets that we need to learn about, because when you have good health in our gut, our brain is also great. If you have a leaky gut and our gut is all over the place and we don't have the diversified portfolio that we need in our gut health, our brains are all foggy and not functioning well. So this is another area of importance that we really need to look at, how we can work on helping our guts be healthy and well, and then making our minds also healthy. If you can whip it in your mind, guess what? You can whip it everywhere else, in your life. So today we have Lady Salomey Adamako. She's a blessed woman of God, first of all. She's a wife. She's the mother of 3 beautiful kids. And I bet and I believe that she started this journey because not only is she looking out for herself and her kiddos, but she's also looking out for other people. Service. She is a nutritional coach. She's a registered nurse as well. She has all the acronyms. She loves helping women, especially women, lose weight painlessly without constantly having to count calories. Oh my God, guilty as charged. I used to be that. And then I started following some of the stuff she put together. I'm like, you don't have to be doing like that. Like, I'm constantly, and then I can't wait to eat because I'm counting the calories. How much did I have already? It's like a painful thing every day. And so today, myself, I have my notepad ready to take some notes. Okay, and I'm not going to go on too much. So, and then she's also the CEO of Ezra Wellness. So if you want to check her out, IG, Facebook, YouTube, she's there as well. And she does a lot of programs with our community. She's a woman of service. And I love her and I appreciate you from far so much. You have no idea. Respect, CEO. So thank you so much for sharing your time this morning with me on my channel. So today we're going to dive right in, people, and we're going to go right into asking our first question. For me, besides counting calories, my weakness, my area of weakness is snacking. And today I did good. I got nuts. Usually it's not nuts. It's like candy, chocolate, ice cream, things like that. But I'm trying to be good. So I got nuts, and it's saltless. So which is another good step for me. Like, it's no salt. I'm like, oh, it's not, but I'm trying to change my taste buds. So my first question is, how many hours should we have between meals, and how about snacking between meals? What are your thoughts? What have you found to be helpful? Because when we are working, we are stressed, for me at least, and I know a lot of friends, we are like mindlessly snacking away. Please talk to us.
Thank you so much, Adrina, and God bless you for the wonderful work that you're doing. Mental health is great. Like you said, if we whip it there, we could whip it everywhere. Exactly. So it's very important that we take care of our mental health, and that is where you are. And yes. I'm so honored to be here this morning. Absolutely. So when we're talking about snack, when it comes to me personally, I rather say we rather not snack. See? And the thing is, why do I say that? It's always better if we leave longer time between meals. So the problem comes when we don't have a really kind of high protein breakfast. That is when the 10 a.m. snacking comes in. Oh, wow. So if we do have like a well-balanced protein breakfast, it's able to hold you at least till lunch. and you will not need to snack in between.
Okay.
So someone is saying, what is high protein breakfast? We're talking about you having some vegetables, some eggs with the breakfast. Even if you are somebody on the run, you are like a busy person, I say on the weekends when you're off, make some smoothies, freeze them, especially you make them right away, you freeze them, then it stays fresh for the week. And then you could have some eggs. You could always boil egg and put it in the fridge. Take 2 of them with your smoothie. You could try it tomorrow and see how long it holds you.
Of course.
Because if you could not snack, that is the best. So that you are able to have that rest. Because we rather want our blood sugars to peak 3 big times a day instead of multiple times.
Right.
That's it. But if you would have to snack, nuts is good. Avocado is great. Yeah. And that is when like you really have to. But most of the time I would tell people, when you feel hungry, drink water first. Sometimes you could be thirsty.
Wow. We don't even think of these things.
That's it.
It takes the urge off.
That's it. Because the stomach just needs to expand and then it just moves the hunger away.
Does it have to be ice water? This is one of the things when I was doing the research towards us going into this session. Some people, I'm saying, hey, it has to be ice. Something about ice water helps tame the appetite as well. Does it have to be ice water? Like, let's say you have the urge to have something, it's like you're going to go to bed, but you're like feeling the hunger. You want to like have that urge to go downstairs or wherever to the kitchen to get something. If you drink water, is that okay? Or should you eat ice water?
Yeah, it depends on the person. Some people go handle the ice water. I personally don't drink a lot of ice water. I don't just use it. I want them at room temperature. So if the person wanted ice and that takes the hunger off, definitely go for it. Because the only thing is that, let's say you start today that I'm not going to snack after dinner, you'll be a little hungry for the next 3 days. But then after that, your body get used to it.
Used to it. That's the thing, training the body. Used to that. That's the hardest part.
That is the hardest part.
To not always feed into the body's desire to train your mindset. That's so good. Now, what is your thought on like first thing in the morning? I used to do this and I'm still working on it. I'm such, so my story is, and my excuse, used to work night shift for many years, over 10 years. And night shift, before we give our report, leaving to go, and because I want to be awake to drive, and really sometimes I do need it because I fall asleep, I'll drink coffee like by 7. It's like wasn't the best. That's one of the reasons why I left night shift. I'll drink coffee, but it became part of me. And coffee can also be, you can get dependent on coffee. So I've been working on not doing that, not working night shift, not to drink coffee first thing. So I'll drink water. Sometimes I'll put apple cider vinegar, lemon in my water, like first thing, and I'll wait till like maybe 9 or 10. And this I'm saying myself. I don't know if you're here, you're listening, put in your comment what you do, share if you like, but this is what I'm saying because that's what I've researched and kind of find it to be beneficial. But educate all of us here listening. First thing in the morning, is it good to drink coffee or tea without sugar, with sugar? I know sugar is a big to-do. So I'm just jumping on the wagon of sugars, especially first thing in the morning. What do you recommend?
First thing in the morning, I would say definitely water.
Yeah.
Water, definitely. Because you see, once we are sleeping at night, we are not drinking.
Yes.
And the body is going through a lot of processes. Your liver is working overtime, cleaning up. The brain is get flushed around. So you see all the blood and everything in you is working throughout the night. So when you wake up in the morning, first, and if you're somebody that do exercise, you exercise a little bit and have a glass or 2 of water. Once you do that, you just help to replenish that dehydration that you've gone through the night, not drinking, you replenish that. And most of the time people do this and also help them to go to the bathroom, especially those who have issues with number 2, especially if it's warm water. After exercise, do really help you to move the bowel.
That's good.
So that you get into a good place to start the day. Yeah, so definitely not sugar. And after your tea, your water, if you want to drink tea, coffee, I know we're going to talk about sugar.
I know. Tea, coffee, the sugar, what do you suggest? And what time? When you wake up, typically, what I found in listening and research is it's at least 2 to 4 hours after you wake up to give you a little bit of a gut rest before you start, after your water, then you start, your coffees and those kind of things. Now, even with the coffee and tea, sugar is a big deal. What do you suggest? Are there any alternatives to sugars that you will recommend to people, especially people who might have diabetes or blood sugar issues, who have spikes in their blood sugars, or they're really like brittle diabetics, or have issues with kidneys or liver and things like that, and considering drinking coffee in the morning, or just people, even folks without any issues, and how does that impact our guts when we do sugars?
So with sugar, when we talk about sugar, it's one thing that is not good for everybody. Sometimes we will say that somebody could have this, somebody can have that, somebody could have that. Sugar is really not the best nutrient for all of us.
Right.
Why is that? Because when you look at pure sugar, it has been stripped of all the fiber, the other nutrients that come with it. So when you eat sugar, the white stuff is half fructose and half glucose. That is what is in the white stuff that we see sugar. So immediately you eat it. Since it has been stripped of all the magnesiums, the calcium and everything, the sugar pulls these magnesium, calcium from your bone to digest the sugar that you've eaten.
Oh, wow.
So sugar is not only an anti-nutrient, but it also robs you of your reserves. So that is what makes sugar so bad.
Yeah.
So at the end of it,
though, like the creamers, I don't want to cut you off, because I know some people might not do sugar per se. They're like, oh, I don't do white sugar, but they load their coffees with creamers.
These creamers are full of sugar. Let's face it. So most of the time, I always say, read the label.
Read the label.
It will say no sugar in bold letters in the front.
Right.
But you go turn it around and it's telling you 35 grams of sugar.
Right.
Then they say no other sugar. Then I'm saying, where did they get the sugar from?
Isn't it something?
So please read the label. If you have so much cream in your coffee, enough that you don't need sugar, that is telling us it has sugar in there.
Right.
So if you're really a coffee person, you say do it black. That is the best way to have your coffee. If you cannot handle black, go for a little bit of honey. There is a sugar called coconut palm sugar that you could also get. This ones, I'm just saying that if you really need to add a little bit of sugar in there, it's not something that we're saying, go get it and replace your sugar with that and start eating it every day. Because in the beginning, if you're trying to switch, like you said, you were working on your taste buds, it's hard for your taste buds to get used to no sugar. And eating becomes really tough. So when you substitute it, and then over time, you'll see that you could win it off.
Right. How about those alternative sweetness, like the sweet and low Splendors, things like that? People use packets and packets of that. Would you say that's okay, or balance it, minimize it, type of thing? What are your thoughts on those?
So those Splendors, sweet and lows, some research will say they do cause cancer. When you read it, it's all over the place, depending on who sponsors what. Everybody's saying something different about them.
Right.
But the only thing that I know happens is that anytime your tongue tastes something sweet, either sweet and low, Splendor, honey, regular sugar, it's still, the body physiology still do the things like you've eaten sugar.
Right.
So we are saying that if you have any health condition, that sugar is a big deal, then please try to do your things without sugar. Only because most of the food that we eat during the day also have sugar in them. The carbohydrates, they tend to sugar. So we just don't want to overdo the sugar.
Overdo the sugar, especially in our culture where
we eat a lot of rice.
Yes.
Yams, the cake, all of them are sugar.
Yes. But I mean, for me, researching also towards this program is very complex and can be a little tough to really not deprive yourself too much. I know potatoes are good, But potatoes also, you have really natural sugars. Some of the fruits have natural sugars, but even those, especially if you have some health issues, especially as we get older, middle age, late age, premenopausal, menopausal women also, things like that. Even with those, even fruit like bananas, the potatoes, things like that, we have to minimize it, even though they're good for us, correct?
Correct. Even though they're, like you said, they're good,
Right.
quotes unquote, good, but especially when you really look at it, we have fruit all year long.
Right.
Now, because of small world, they can move food around. They bring us fruit here. You could go to Stop and Shop every single time you find strawberries.
Right.
It's not normal.
Yes. Just it's not normal. I like that.
Because before, let's say we live in Connecticut,
right.
where we have 6 months of winter, where will strawberries come from?
Yeah,
We won't find any
exactly.
strawberry because it's cold.
It's cold.
But these days, these fruits are there all the time. So for me personally, especially during the winter months, cut back on your fruit intake.
Oh, wow.
Then during the summer months, when fruit will naturally be available, enjoy some occasionally. If you are a diabetic, you really want to cut back on your fruits, only because you see, anytime we eat fruit, the fructose in the fruit don't hit your bloodstream right away. So when you eat fruit and you're a diabetic and you check your sugar, it's not going to go high, like let's say an hour, because it's taking a dive to the liver to get turned into glucose before it hit the bloodstream.
Right.
So you don't want to overwork your liver, which is already being overworked.
Right.
These days, there is so much fatty liver disease out there, even among the young children, teenagers, because of sugar.
Yeah, all the snacking.
And some kids, they will serve them a bowl of rice with a cup of juice. Hello, sugar on top of sugar.
Yes, that's the thing. And there's a culture of the food industry also, additives that make not just adults, but a lot of kids struggling with obesity.
Yeah.
What I've found is that there's this addiction to food that comes with some of the additives that they put in it. Now I'm going to tell a personal story. My daughter, which, still working on some stuff. You don't know, if you don't know, you don't do any better. So when she was born little. She came premature. So the goal at that point was fatten and get her going, grow her. So when she got to a certain age, we transitioned her from, the powdered milk, the baby milk, to Pediasure. Oh, I have, like, if you put Pediasure close to me, I was like, and not to like the manufacturer of Pediasure, nobody should come after me, but I'm just saying it. There's something in that milk and so many other foods geared towards kids that is very addictive. She became stuck on Pediasure. She can't get off. And I hear this from friends, so many other moms, parents, I should say, moms alone. There's other men also who involved, but a lot of times it's the moms who are in the forefront. But anyway, they can't get the kids off the Pediasure and they gain weight from whatever, besides protein, there's so much in it. So that we need to educate ourselves as moms and as parents to start feeding our children healthy foods from the get-go. So as they get into preteen, teenage years, they have healthy weight, and then it decreases their the concerns of them having self-esteem issues, because now they have all this weight. We are forcing them to do all kinds of activities to try to get them to go back to shape. Preventative care. Now, just a little spiel on that, part. So even the healthy foods that we deem healthy, the point, what I'm hearing you say is we still have to be careful, read the labels, and educate ourselves into what we are really putting into the vessels that God has given us. Now, when you're reading labels, right? Like, so protein is really good, especially in the mornings. How much protein should we be looking at? How much sugar is appropriate? Let's say you've gone for, because this is, I try to do like almond milk. I use myself as an example. I use almond milk, or I like almond better than soy. But even that has sugar. How much sugar should we be looking? How many grams per day for protein and for the sugar. So we are staying within the appropriate limits.
So I would say, if you're someone from our background who eats most of our foods, when I say our foods, I'm talking about our rices,
Of
our
course.
fufu, the benku and stuff. You're
Yes.
better off going for, like when you get an almond milk, go for no added sugar. So that in the morning, you're really not putting any sugar in.
Right.
And then, let's say in the afternoon, you have your rice with a little bit of salad with your chicken. Remember, the rice is going to turn to glucose in your bloodstream. Because most of the time we talk about sugar and everybody's thinking about the white stuff. But there is sugar, other things. And then later on, you have your meal. So when it comes to the sugars, we really want to cut off the added sugars. And let's concentrate on sugars that come in their natural form, like in the food.
Right, wow.
Yeah, so that at least you know that you don't have to worry about it. Because when we say grams of sugar, sometimes it could be confusing. So 4 grams, 5 grams is about a teaspoon of sugar. So anytime you're reading a label, I know people love yogurt.
Yeah.
When you get a yogurt, most of the time it have like 28 grams of sugar for a little cup of yogurt.
Right, per serving. Because that's
that is the yogurt.
Right, for the whole
little
yogurt.
cup.
The little cup.
You see that your plate yogurt, for example, the cup.
Yes, right.
28 grams of sugar.
Yeah, that's a lot of sugar. Wow.
And that 28 grams, that is almost 6 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow, if you think of it that way. Wow.
So anytime you see 5 grams, think of it as a teaspoon of sugar.
5 grams is a teaspoon. I'm writing
that. So that
down.
it helps you to know how much sugar is in there, because the gram is a manufacturing confusing business.
Right, of course.
You don't know how to convert it.
Sometimes it's all at the bottom line. The manufacturer are not thinking about your health.
No.
About how to make it where you come for more.
That's it. They want to get you confused. So definitely 5 grams, 4 grams, still consider it around that.
Right.
And then it brings the picture into your head that if this is 20 grams, that means I'm going to eat 4 teaspoons of sugar, which is 2 tablespoons.
Right. Wow. Yeah. If you wouldn't put that into your food,
that's it.
About how much is in there. Wow. That's awakening.
Yes. We always think yogurt is healthy, but yogurt is loaded with sugar, unless it's plain.
How about kefir? Because I tried kefir as well.
Yeah, kefir, pretty much, I think the sugar level is a little bit lower.
Right.
Yes. Once in a while, like we're saying, because you also have the probiotics and stuff there for the guts. Definitely. I do let my kids drink that. I would rather let them have that.
Instead of the
instead of the other one.
Yeah, right.
And when it comes to protein, it depends on our activity. See, somebody who is running, who is always working out and building new muscles, they will need more protein than those of us that are sitting around and not doing much.
Right.
What I'm starting to notice lately as I keep researching stuff, I see that women too, as we get closer to menopause or perimenopause, they recommended that we eat a little bit more protein too.
That's true. Yes, that's correct.
Because you see, estrogen is going down. Most of our protein, our muscle cells are turning into fat.
Right.
So they recommend you eating a little bit more protein. But if you up your protein, make sure you exercise.
Yes.
So that you're building more lean muscle.
Right.
Since things are turning around.
Yeah.
So the protein definitely depends on your activity. That is when you know the grams, exactly what to eat. But we don't want people to also overdo protein, because you put a lot of stress on your kidneys, to get rid of, because protein, the digestion and everything, the breakdown makes you more acidic.
Right. Yes.
And I don't want viewers to confuse it with the acid in the gut.
Right.
When it comes to our human blood, there is a pH scale, 0 to 14, and we have a neutral of 7. So as human beings, our blood is slightly alkaline. That means it's above 7. It's a very narrow range. It's 7.35 to 7.45. That is where our blood works the best, because it's in the alkaline stage.
Okay.
So all the cells and everything running around in your body able to function when the body is slightly alkaline like that.
Right.
Eating a lot of protein, a lot of sugar, a lot of milk and dairy and stuff make you acidic.
Wow.
So you go below the 7. And when you get there, it kind of denatures some of your body's, the cells and stuff. So your body want to push you back to the alkaline.
Middle,
So body trying to pull minerals from your body if you're not eating a lot of vegetables where they could get these minerals to buffer the blood, to bring it back. When I say buffer, that means to bring it back to the alkaline state.
Alkaline state, right.
So protein do make you acidic. So if you're eating protein, make sure you have some vegetable with your food, because vegetables, fruit are more alkaline and they help to buffer it because it comes with the magnesium, the calcium, the nutrients that you need for that.
Wow, this is so good. I never. Now, is there anything we can get? Like, once again, I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was suggesting to get a blood sugar monitor and a pH monitor. I actually didn't even know the numbers. He didn't break the numbers down like you broke it. This is so good. And actually, I get very like, oh, what's the matter? Is something wrong with me? I'm very like, so besides my regular doctor, I saw and researched a naturopathic doctor who can do like hormone level, go beyond the routine yearly physical blood work. That doesn't cover a broad range of other levels of chemicals and hormones we need in our body. So I have an appointment coming up. They usually will book, like they have a wait listing kind of thing. So, but do we need to invest in getting like a pH monitor or a blood sugar monitor so we can keep an eye? We don't need to wait until things, for me, everything's like at least trying to be preventative. Do you know if there's anything like that we can get as viewers, as listeners, or people who are like trying to do better for our health?
See, monitoring, checking is great.
Right.
But most of the time, I try to keep things really simple.
Right.
Our life is already complicated as it is.
Right, exactly.
We have so much going on, kids running around, taking them to this, taking them to that, trying to take care of yourself. So what I say is that make sure good rest,
right,
vegetables, eat as close to nature as possible.
That's great.
If you wake up in the morning, have no aches and pains, no brain fogs and stuff.
Right.
Let's say you had a disease condition and you started to eat healthy, and now all of a sudden your doctor took off your blood pressure medication. That means your body is coming into balance.
Right.
So there are better ways to do the markets, because you say somebody to go get a PS, the litmus paper and do what some people know what you're looking at.
Like, what is going on here? I get all stressed out.
Yes, but if you have the background knowledge and at least you know what you're looking at, it's really good.
Yes.
Check it once in a while. And I do have a glucometer at home.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's worth investing at least that. Right.
Yes. And then blood pressure, cough, and stuff like that. Right. Once in a while, check it out and see what's going on. Yeah. Because the doctors don't check it until a year, like you said.
Exactly. Right. Be in the driver's seat of your own care. So if you're listening today to us, really, even if you're listening to us from Africa, from Ghana, from Jamaica, the word here is eat as close to the natural state of foods as possible and be in the driver's seat of your care, of your family's care, of your kids' care, and also educate yourself, learn things, listen to programs like this, go on podcasts, YouTube, learn things to do better. Reduce stress, rest, because sometimes some chronic stress. I did a program on trauma, stress, things like that can chronically continue to inflame our bodies, continue to have more markers in our bodies that are tending to be more inflammatory markers than anti-inflammatory. So so two things come to mind when we talk about inflammation, reducing inflammation, gut health, preventing leaky gut, preventing brain fog, even in kids. Like there's an uptake in ADHD type presentation for kids. They can't focus. I was a school nurse for a little bit, just a little bit. I couldn't do much more than that because where I'm coming from the kids, I was like, I don't want to knock any kids on the head or nothing like that. I'm like, I need to be out of here. But anyway, kids are all about so aggression, things like that. A lot of it sometimes from trauma, stress at home, and also food. Now, how do we eat foods that will produce more anti-inflammatory markers? And what are your take on gut rest, like 12-hour gut rest? We do a lot of fasting with our spiritual journey, right? But what are some of the benefit of fasting, like 12 hours, 14, 16 hours? Is that something we should look at every day, every week, doing a couple of times? What are the benefit of gut rest, fasting, and then eating anti-inflammatory foods? If you want to highlight a little bit on some of the foods we can kind of put into our system and talk a little bit about like fasting and gut rest.
Okay. So when it comes to anti-inflammatory foods that causes inflammation, and most of the time that word is so big. What is inflammation?
Right.
Inflammation is actually not bad. It's good. It's part of our innate immune response. When I talk about the innate, you know, when it comes to the immune system, we have two branches. We have the innate, and then we have like the adaptive.
Please,
so the innate,
educate us. I need to write that down. It's all new to me.
so you know, the innate immune system will say that it's your first line of defense. And when we talk about an innate, apart from we talk about the your skins that covers, you know, the whole skin is part of it. And the mucous membrane in your mouth, in your private areas, in your eyes, in your nose, all those are barriers that are part of your innate.
Right.
So when something happens to you, let's say you get a cut, or let's say you get a nail tag in your foot and you did not feel it, the inflammation process, what happened is there's a lot of blood going there, white blood cells are coming there. Why are they doing that? Because they see there is a foreign tag in your foot and you don't know about it. So once they make it start to hurt, now you're going to pay attention and see what is going on in there.
Exactly. Wow.
And go take a look at it. And then you go, you say, oh my God, you take it to the doctor, they see that there's a tag in there. I've taken care of a patient like that. She was a diabetic, no feeling in the leg. She did not even see it. But the inflammation process help your body to discover that. So inflammation is not actually bad. But the problem is there is this low-grade inflammation that goes on in the body. And this happens when especially we have conditions like leaky gut. What is that? That is when the lining, you see, our gut lining is something called tight junctions. Like I have my fingers up. They're really, really tight together.
Right.
But if there is inflammation, like the swelling around the tag in your foot, because of the swelling, it pushes them to open up. So now things that are not allowed to leave the gut into your bloodstream moves from there to the bloodstream.
Wow.
The best way to look at it is look at a donut. You see, donuts have a hole in the middle.
Right.
But the donut itself is a circle.
Right.
And around it. So let's say your body is the middle of the donut, the hole.
Right.
Your intestines is the donut itself, the circle. So we want everything that goes in to stay in the circle. And only the ones that we want to move from the circle into the bloodstream is what we want to move in.
That's right.
But if there are holes, big things move in.
Wow.
Your body knows amino acid, the small particles of protein itself.
Right.
But it doesn't know big chunks of real like meat move into your bloodstream. The body don't know what to do with that.
Right. Right.
The body see it as foreign, like the tag in your nail. So now the body tries to get rid of that piece of, let's say, corn or whatever that seep into your bloodstream.
Yes.
So the inflammation process goes on, like it's happening in your foot.
Yeah.
But this time around, it's in the blood, so you cannot see it with your eyes.
Right.
And this leaky gut continues. So every time you eat, certain kinds of food will leak in. So once it leak in, then your body starts to mount this inflammation. So it is going on all the time.
Right.
So that inflammation, studies have linked it to heart disease, a lot of autoimmune disorders like arthritis.
Yes.
And
Wow.
you see a lot of conditions, brain fog, because anytime somebody have leaky gut, they also have leaky brain.
Brain.
Because
Wow.
the blood-brain barrier, there's a lot of things that is not supposed to cross it.
Yes.
So once things start to cross that they are not supposed to cross, then you have issues also in the head.
Wow, that is so good.
So now our goal is that if we don't want the tag in our foot, the same way we don't want the beef or the corn in our blood. So we're going to eat foods that will not cause the lining to get inflamed.
Wow, yes.
And what are the big stuff?
Yeah.
The big things that normally cause inflammation, mostly in a lot of people, we already talk about sugar.
Yes.
Sugar is one of them.
Of course.
Dairy, like milk products.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, most people are not able to handle it. And when they get it and they get diarrhea, they go for lactate. I say stay away from milk.
Yeah, I know. Stay away.
Stay away. If the milk bothers your stomach, why bother?
Right.
Stay away from milk. There are plant-based milk. Go for your almond or coconut.
Right.
And then also wheat. You see, most people are not gluten sensitive people, but they are sensitive to the wheat protein.
Right.
So most of the time, wheat do also cause it. And then the seed oils, like our vegetable oils,
Right.
those big gallon oils, soybean oil, those stuff, those also cause inflammation. So if you're listening to us and you have like inflammation conditions like arthritis, brain fog, maybe you are overweight and all of that. Because when we get overweight, most of the time, it's because of the inflammation. Your foot will swell when the tag is in there. So your whole body gets bigger because there is inflammation going on.
It will build up, right?
Because your body is trying to fight on your behalf. But this time they are fighting the wrong stuff.
Right.
And it's affecting your overall health. So these foods that I've talked about, sugar, dairy, wheat, seed oils, Salome, do I have to stop it forever? No, just get rid of them. For at least 6 weeks, see how your body responds.
Right.
Seed oil, you really don't want.
Flour, like
yeah, that is wheat.
Wheat, okay.
Yeah, flour.
But they're different grades, right? Because only go like
there's different grains.
Right.
So yes, so at least the wheat one is the one that are known to cause it.
Right.
And what I say is once you stop them, definitely seed oil, you don't want to go back to them.
Yes.
Dairy, wheat, you could try it back after the 6 weeks and see how your body responds to it.
Right.
Yeah, if you respond fine, then once in a while you could eat it.
Certainly.
Yes, but mostly seed oil, sugar, dairy, a lot of time it's not good. And I know you mentioned ADHD, and these foods are really problematic in those kids. And you know the funny thing? That is all they want to eat.
That's all they want to eat. Exactly.
Yeah. Because of the gut bacteria they have, they crave for these foods. So any child with ADHD, most of them, they want to eat a lot of yogurt, cheeses and stuff. That's all they want to eat.
Right.
They love all the other drinks and stuff. If you try to give them vegetable, they will never want to eat it because they got bacteria. But what happens is they will fight with you for a while. But once you try to bring in a little vegetable, a little bit at a time, and it's able to change the gut bacteria, diversify them a little, then they'll be able to, their taste buds will change, they will try to eat them. In the beginning, it will be a fight.
Well, it will be a fight. Oh, God help us, moms, parents, dads, because they'll fight you. You're busy, your work. You're like, I don't have time for this.
That's it.
But it's going to take some type of a determination for a week or 2 or 3, a little more, and then they change their taste bud.
They will change
their gut health.
Yeah.
The long term. How about antibiotics? And I know we still have to talk about the fasting and
yes, we'll come to that.
I know this is so exciting. I'm learning so much. Oh Lord, God bless you. You're so loaded. We might have to grab you again for another time. But anyway, while we're talking about those kind of things, can you talk on the use of antibiotics and how that can also impact and affect leaky gut? Because let's say somebody has a UTI, somebody has strep throat. There's a lot of kids, once again, I'll use my daughter as an example. When she was little, she used to have a lot of ear stuff. And one, because she was born little, and sometimes I have friends whose kids were not born at the right age or just in our age, but they had a lot of ear infection, they have a lot of strep throat, a lot of enlargement of adenoid, tonsils, and get what? Pediatrician, oh, let's do a 5-day round of antibiotic for the kiddos. And that changes a lot with kids. Antibiotic use.
Antibiotics, yeah. And I know I'm with you. Recently, my daughter have strep throat.
Yeah.
Trying to get away from it. I tried everything. I had to give her antibiotic. I really did not like it.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't get out of it, no matter what I tried. So I had to, because after I look at the risk of not treating it and stuff like that, I had to. So what I say is that once they go on antibiotic, as long as we say dairy is not the best, something like kefir, you mentioned, you could bring some on board whilst they're taking the antibiotic. Plain yogurt, if you could bring some in their food. These days, there are probiotic for kids.
Oh, yeah.
Out there that you could also get. So anytime the kids are on antibiotic, please try and get some probiotic alongside the antibiotic, because the antibiotic, whilst it's killing the strep, is killing other bacteria in the gut.
Yes, it does.
So once the diversification gets shaked up, then there is an issue.
Yeah.
And there is something funny that I would say that recently I've been doing a lot of research on vitamin D, and they say that vitamin D deficiency, especially in children of color, is one contributing factor to the weight gain and the infections. So if you're listening to us and your child is overweight, infection and stuff, double check that. Once you go to do labs, doctor, ask them to do vitamin D levels. Let's see where they are. If they could replenish it a little, that would be able to help their immune system. Yes.
And to highlight on that, though, I learned this the hard way with my pediatrician, my primary care. Now, sometimes if you don't talk to your primary care or your pediatrician about your child or yourself or your family member struggling with some of the symptoms, right? Sometimes the routine checkups, even the yearly checkups, it doesn't include vitamin D, either that or the thyroid, either one of them. I could be wrong.
It doesn't include both of them.
Exactly, both of them.
It doesn't.
Insurance will not pay unless you are claiming or telling them
that's it.
These symptoms, I'm struggling, and then they'll do an add-on so insurance can cover it, because you don't want to end up with a bill. Because those two levels are also very important in our mental health, because low level of thyroid, low level of vitamin D also can make you foggy, low energy, almost as if you're depressed. And of course, when you have kids who have like quote unquote depression, it's hard, because you might think, oh, they're just being lazy, but there could be something at the core. So really always taking your kids, not being like, oh, but just check them out. It doesn't hurt to just make sure you check it out to make sure they're okay. Now, I don't want to forget, can you please talk about the 12-hour plus gut rest and what's the benefit of fasting beside the spiritual benefit, how that can benefit our guts and our brains as well?
So what happened is that when we go without food for that number of time, let's say 12 hours.
Right.
So if we're talking about 12 hours, that means you eat dinner at 6, you don't eat again until 6 in the morning, your body have had that rest. There is something in the digestive system called the migrating motor complex. Big word. What does that mean? That means that the body there is a movement that goes through the digestive system.
Right.
That moves things to where they are. When I say move things, I'm talking about your bacteria, sweep. It's kind of housekeeping in your digestive system.
Right.
The only time that happens is when you are not eating. See? So when there is no food in the digestive system, that movement just go through to move things. Let's say you see the bacteria we are talking about have to be in your large intestines. Oh, that's where they live.
Yeah.
So let's say for some reason, some have moved up a little bit on the small intestine. When this housekeeping work happens, it moves them back to where they're supposed to be.
Right.
But if you're eating all the time, your body don't have even the time to do that little cleanup. Some people go to bed with a full stomach.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Full stomach. And I always laugh about it. I say, you think you're sleeping and you're putting your body to work. You wake up tired. Everybody's working.
Wow. I like the way you explain these things. That makes so much sense why you wake up and
Tired.
tired.
You see, because let's say when we eat our dinners by 6 p.m., you don't eat again, and 10, you go to sleep. You have no food in the stomach.
Right.
So the blood in your body, when you're sleeping, one, it goes to your brain and flush around it. Clean up. It happens.
Right.
Goes to your liver have no food with it. Your liver now starts to do the regeneration work. If there are cells that are dead, it just take care of them and do all those housekeeping stuff.
Right.
But when you eat, that blood that have to go to the body and do this work, now it's in the digestive, it's in the gut trying to digest the food that you ate. So you wake up and you're tired because all the cleanup that is supposed to happen in the night never happened.
Never happened. It was working.
It was working. So
Wow.
don't think that I'm going to bed with a full stomach. No, you're both going to work.
Wow. So we have to avoid that.
That's it. We have to at least eat 3 hours before bed. It's better to go to bed with on an empty stomach. You wake up lighter, you wake up more refreshed and more alert. A lot of people with heartburn issues, it helps.
Right.
Because you have time to digest your food before you lay down.
Right. Yes. I hear a lot of people heartburn, acid reflux, they're on protonics, they're taking things over the counter but simple strategies as such. So those stretch of times, and then also between meals during the day, giving your cat rest, at least 3 to 4 hours between meals, right? Minimizing snacks. Maybe having your dessert with your meal rather than having it all the time. So your sugar is constantly spiking if you're not giving your gut that span of time to get some rest.
Yep.
Wow, this is amazing. We can go on and on. Wow.
Yes, we can. And you know, like the inflammation, if you're someone that have leaky gut and it's causing inflammation for you, there is no food coming in. Remember, there is no time for leaking of the gut. There is no food. So nothing is going to be leaking. It helps with the healing process.
The healing.
Yes.
Because the gut, the liver can all regenerate, can heal. You have to give it that chance to do that.
Do it.
So, and also incorporating anti-inflammatory foods like your, raspberry, strawberry, the berries, correct?
The berries are good. Vegetables.
We love mangoes, but coming because of the sugars, but more veggies, cabbage, lettuce.
Yeah. They're great.
Spinach, kale, things like that. Making a smoothie, a salad, things like that too. And even if you have a good big bowl of it once a day.
That's it.
Right? I think just at least a good healthy salad once a day with your meal
is great.
Having a protein, I'm just kind of recapping, a protein breakfast, minimizing snacks, have some veggies through the day. Meal prepping, I've been trying. It's not easy. It's all like trying to meal prep for the day so you're planning, so you're not impulsive, because it's so easy. You're driving, there's a McDonald's, like, oh, let me just grab some burger or something. I feel like to me, that's the worst you can do for your body. Fast food foods and the snacks, the chips. You start with one and next thing you have a whole bag of it. Out of sight, out of mind. So
and then the fasting too, I always say fasting is also cheap. It's simple. Yes. You see, most of the time, some of these diet stuff could be really confusing. Eat anti-inflammatory, eat this, eat that. People get confused. Fasting, you're not eating. One rule.
Right.
Very simple.
Simple, don't eat it.
So if you are somebody that is always on the run, especially in the morning,
right,
you could just go for your black coffee, tea and stuff. Do that in the morning so that you're not reaching for anything. When you're not eating, most breakfast foods are not the best.
Right. Oh, wow.
So most of the time, just drink your tea, your coffee. Then until if it's lunch that you have time to eat real food, eat your salad at lunch and then have a good dinner and you're good.
Right? And be mindful of like the omelette, loaded all kinds of things. Back home in Ghana, even some of the omelets you put like sardine thing in it, loaded with all kinds of things. Simple boiled egg.
Yeah. I always talk about the salad. The salad is
salad too,
oh my
right.
God. African salad.
Yeah, African salad, forget it. No. A little
The
drizzle of
everything.
vinaigrette is good. You don't need the beans and the
Sardines, the
mayonnaise
eggs,
and
the mayonnaise, everything.
the
Big-
veggies start to get all like watery. You don't even see the veggie anymore. All you see is like the stuff.
It's so coming.
That's not what we're talking about.
Lettuce.
No, that kind of stuff. The sauce still has to be crisp and crunchy.
Yes.
So that's why
the green salad.
If you're here, please check out Israel Wellness. She even shows examples of different things, meals you can prep to help, because our diet is so big. Our diet prevents cancer. Our diet prevents, joint pain, especially as you get into a middle age, and all that. Besides that, even young people, you start these habits. It takes another 21 days and beyond to build a habit. You start now, guess what? You're better off in the future. As you get into middle age, you're already kind of set into a good set of habits. Our foods are awesome, it's yummy, but we also have to learn to minimize it. If you have a little bit of wachi or whatever, just add a bunch of it, or eat the veggies first, fill up, right? So you're filled up, drink some water, then you have your meal. You don't have the tendency to kind of, after fasting, you're breaking your fast. There's such a tendency to just gorge on anything you find your way. And then you're like, what is the benefit of
fasting?
All this stuff. You have like 10 balls of banku. No, I'm just exaggerating, right? Because you're so hungry. But it takes a level of self-control, but it takes practice. Better gut health, better brain health, better family, better kiddos. And overall, this is the point of what we are doing, to serving and sharing what we know to make it better, prevent certain things in the future, joint pain, cancers, things like that, sleeplessness, bloating, issues. We can go on and on all day, I bet.
Yep.
But anyway, today's been amazing. I need to grab you again, maybe sometime. Schedule permit. We have to do a 2.0 version of this. You are so knowledgeable. God bless you so much for being with us. Any last words for our viewers before we end today?
You see, Gina, what I would say again is a vitamin D3.
Yes.
Listen, and once you start to research something, it keeps coming up.
Yes.
So you have to talk about it. I already made a video on it. I will keep talking about it, because especially people of color that will live in North America, when you look at all the diseases, depression, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, most of people of color, we died a lot from cancer, the Caucasians.
Yes, we do.
And as I keep researching, vitamin D3 plays a role in it. Most of us are low in vitamin D3. When I would say D3, because there's D2, D3, and
exactly.
I'm talking about vitamin D3, the active form that your body could absorb.
Yes.
So
which, by the way, I don't. It's not included in checkups.
It's not
included. You have to really get a broader blood work to get those levels. Even the thyroid, because there's T4, there's T. If you don't specify or go to an aesthetic doctor to get those specifics checked, you'll be going blinded, and people all of a sudden say, "Oh, he died from cancer. We didn't even know." No, because that was all this while. I'm sorry to catch you, but I wanted to.
No, that is fine, because you see, once we talk about these things, you get so passionate about them, because this is what is killing us, and we don't need to die. And vitamin D is one of the cheapest supplements out there.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And most of the time, you feel like they don't want us to know about the simple things and get things in place, but they want us to get cancer and come for chemo and die.
Oh, of course, because it serves the bottom line.
You see, so at the end of the day, if you're listening to us, especially you have any disease condition, especially joint pain, is big. Arthritis, D3 deficiency is a big deal. Most of us, we're 50, we can't walk, we think we are old. You are not old. 50 is no, nothing.
For
We
sure.
live in the United States where we see 90-year-olds driving.
Oh, yes.
Tell me you're 50 and you have arthritis and you're getting crippled, and
Right.
that is normal. It's not.
Right.
All forms of
Really,
arthritis.
right. You're going up the stairs or going down,
Yep.
getting up. I see a lot of people
Mhm.
my age, they get in, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
no, that's just like, get it checked out, because that's not
That's
normal.
it. That is a no. Get some vitamin D3 supplements. Start taking them. When you go to your doctor, ask him to check your levels.
Sure.
When they do the lab work, it's 30 to 100. You want to be about 50. That is the optimum place to be.
Right.
And some people go, the doctor check it, they say, oh, you're low. They give them a D3 and weekly for 6 weeks. They say, stop taking it. No. Get it checked again, especially at the end of winter. If you want to stop taking your vitamin D3, it will be only in the summer months when you're outside in the sun.
All right.
Especially winter time, you make sure you take them so that you put all these diseases at bay. After COVID, most of the research that is coming out when you read on COVID, people that were low in vitamin D3, they are the people that had this severe disease and died from COVID.
Of course, yes.
So vitamin D3 is big deal.
Right.
So once you shift your diet, put a good D3 in.
We didn't even talk about, and that's why we got to talk about supplements. We got to talk about even signs of early dementia, to early memory issues, dementia, things like that. So definitely.
I think this was wonderful.
Yes. I always say, before, as I said in the beginning of the session, if you whip it in your brain, when you know, you do better. When you whip it in your brain, you can whip it everywhere else in your life. So let's keep driving this forward. Thank you so much. You people who checked us on Facebook Live will be there for anyone to check out. I see you there, Auntie Jemima. I see you there, Mercy. I see you there, Nana, Rahel. Thank you so much. I thank you for tuning. Please share. These are things that we need to move forward with our sisters, with our brothers, with our family. We are here in this country, but we're also pushing this forward. So we are more knowledgeable, not just for ourselves, but for our friends here and also back home in Africa. So I thank you so much. I love you from far. I respect and admire you so much. You have a lovely rest of your day. You guys, thank you so much. Share this video and give us any comments, question. Check out Ezra Wellness. I cannot say it enough. Please go check her out. She has so much nuggets. You will be living a much better version of your life when you follow this lady. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lady Salomey. We'll be
You're welcome, Gina. It's always a pleasure being with you. You too. We'll do it again.
Bye-bye.